All right, what is going on, my dudes? So, I got a really odd text message this morning and it said you have to rank 3 a mutant champion or else your account will be deleted. I think it was from Kabam Mike, but I just can't be sure. But either way, guys, I'm not going to chance it. So I went immediately to my mutant roster. It's pretty darn stacked. I have almost every mutant champion in the game, except for like the couple that I really want, like Apocalypse and Strife and Professor X, who I would love to rank 3, all 3 of them. But I have a decent amount of options here. I said, all right, so I got to rank 3 a mutant champion. And I looked at my roster. I said, Emma Frost was one of my first rank 2s. Weapon X, very rare champion. He'd be really cool to rank 3. He's 660. That's not too bad, man. That's just not too bad at all. Emma Frost, one of my first ever rank 2s. Might have been my first rank 2, don't remember. Might have been my second one. I have White Mags, freshly duped, right? And I have Colossus, also duped. Both of these champions were both buffed, both really good. I have some other underrated options down here like Jubilee. Jubilee could be a cool rank 3, a new champ, probably a little bit underrated at the moment. There's also Domino down there too. But I said, you know what? I want to rank up a mutant champion who was buffed. And it's going to be White Mags. So, I feel as if this is the first time in a while I've done a rank up where I'm just using the proper ISO. So, man, I ranked up Ragnagod with wacky ISO and I told Brian to look away. I ranked up Torch with anything but science ISO and I begged him to look away. Today I'm ranking up a champion that Brian happens to love with all the proper ISO types. So Brian, if you're watching, please, whatever you do, continue looking at the screen and burning your retinas with this beautiful white Magneto at rank 3. So, yeah, I'm very excited about this rank up. I think it's really cool, all jokes aside. I did consider Colossus for just a second, man, but I just don't like the champ, guys. He's very powerful. I just don't want to play with him. That's just the thing, man. If I look back at like 7.2 and 7.3, I brought White Mags along so much. So freaking much I brought this guy along. I never used him because he was rank 1. I pulled him from a Nexus, Mutant Nexus, from July 4th. Right? Yeah, that was a while ago at this point, man. Wow. So let's flip over to the game real quick. So I pulled him from a Mutant Nexus, whatever they're called, last Nexus on July 4th. And I was like, that's pretty darn cool. I'd like to rank him, but not unduped. So he's been rank 1 for the longest time now. After 7.3, 100%, he was in one of my Nexus crystals. And it was a no-brainer pick. I was like, 100%, we're picking White Mags. It's amazing, and I want to rank 3 him. And I took him to rank 2 that night. At this point, that was like 2.5 weeks ago. And I had so much Mutant ISO and Overflow that was about to expire, right? I had 4 Tier 5 Basic and Overflow. I was like, let me just rank 3 this guy, man. He's not as powerful as Colossus, right? He's not even as powerful as Weapon X. Weapon X is an incredibly underrated champion, but that's only because most people don't have him. They just don't know. But White Mags himself is also a very underrated attacker. The fact that he can always have that passive stun in every single fight. If you know, the thing with White Mags is that, like, very often in 7.3, 7.2, I guess not 7.2, I didn't have both yet, but I'll just say very often 7.3, there were a couple lanes that I brought both 5 and 6 star White Mags for because I wanted 6 pre-fights. You know? I can just use White Mags himself, right? If I want that type of utility on like a tenacity lane or something like that. And now with the dupe, this is why it's so important. Knocking out an opponent grants an additional persistent charge. So that's really good. You know, that is really, really good there. That helps build up his persistent charges. The more charges that he has, right, the higher percent chance. Look, landing hits and being struck grants 5% chance per persistent charge to gain a 10-second prowess buff, granting plus 10% special damage, max 7 stacks. So yeah, pre-fight guidance boost is so good, man. This is why this guy is used so much for his pre-fights. He spends 2 of them, and the attacker gains 15% attack rating, which is huge. And then metal and hero attackers trigger passive stun effects with the parry master instead of debuffs, which gain plus 0.5 second duration. God, it's so good, man. It's used so often in Alliance War. I use him in AQ sometimes. It's used in side quests, in regular quests, and I would love to use him as an attacker. But I do find his damage to be slightly underwhelming. So White Mags is an excellent option to bring up to rank 3 for that reason, because he has a ton of utility. He's bleed immune. He has all these pre-fight things going on. He has the support. He's always around the team, but his damage is a little bit lacking compared to other champions. So he gains a lot from that boost to rank 3, you know? He really does. And there are a lot of different ways to play this guy. You know, like the typical rotation here, you know, if you want max damage, you want to ideally build up to your 9 or 10 prowess, go for a special 3, get the cruelty buff, pause all the prowess, get close to a special 2, use a special 1, get the armor break, and then build up to the special 2. And then if it crits, it's going to do a massive amount of damage. It doesn't always crit though. That's the thing, but there's the bleed or the degen there if they're metal. So that's like his damage rotation, but also just keeping that armor break on the opponent and just building up the prowess and just spamming special 1 is also another very decent way to go about it. If you want to be safe, let's say you're using him in like Alliance War, right? You just want to spam the special 1 and they're going to go down. I really like him for like shorter fights, you know? So yeah. He also has all energy damage attacks, so like he could be really good for like fighting Korg, because he can parry Korg and he can just fight him like normal, and he pretty much just turns Korg into a freaking potato, man. I love when champs turn other champs into potatoes, right? That's why I love Spidey 2099. He turns the Mystic class, most of them, a lot of them, into potatoes. I freaking love it. I love that so much, right? So that's pretty much how this guy works. We'll do a little bit of gameplay here today, but as you can see, his special attacks, all prowess buffs are paused for the duration of the attack. Magneto's personal special attack effects gain bonuses based on how many prowess buffs Magneto has when the attacker starts. So 1 prowess, you have plus 50% ability accuracy, 3 plus prowess, 50% plus 50% buff and debuff duration, 6 plus prowess, 50% buff and debuff potency, and 9 plus prowess attack grants the opponent 80% less power. So, you know, a special attack that grants the opponent, that's nice to have for sure, but it does take a lot of build up. The rest of the stuff is nice. Buff, potency, and duration is definitely nice, and ability accuracy is very nice as well. Especially when you see that the special 1 has a 70% chance to put an armor break, special 2, 70% chance to put a bleed or that, 70% chance to get a cruelty buff. You don't throw special attacks without at least 1 prowess. There's no point to, you're going to lose your damage, right? So, and yeah, you know, Magneto's attack deals energy damage, which is really, really good. Immune to bleed effects. Also, look at this. He also gains plus 10% base special attack damage. I never noticed that. That's pretty darn cool. Now, another thing, man, that a lot of people I feel like don't realize is look at this. Minus 70% ability accuracy against metal champions. That is the same amount of ability accuracy reduction that red Magneto has. The exact same, 70%. They also have minus 15% combat power rate, and incoming debuffs gain plus 25% duration. The way that reads, that kind of reads to me. So the way that reads to me is that debuffs that he gets on himself gain plus 25% duration, but I'm not entirely sure why that would make any sense. But yeah, but also he gains plus pretty much 900 attack rating, which is nice. But the SIG is so nice because his bleed and arm break debuffs gain 60% duration, based on how much bonus special damage he's getting from prowess effects, right? So the more prowess, the more duration, which is really, really nice. And also the additional charge is something that you really need. So I feel like he's very underrated at the moment. The reason why is because he's not in the 5-star pool. He's only a few months, right, at this point, like a year or more in the 6-star pool. So yeah, let's just mess around with him against Winter Soldier a bit here. So the Mutant class is about team building, right? That's just the way it is. And these are some of the best ones here. There's a lot that this team is doing for House of X Mags. You know, Right here, gain an indefinite prowess buff, granting plus 20% special attack damage. That's just nice, man. That is just nice to have. Rise against the contest, plus 5% attack rating during the fight, and Magneto's atonement synergy gains plus 25% potency. And that's right here. So this is the one where metal champions have 10% ability accuracy, and hero champions plus 8% attack rating. That's a nice darn boost, man. Over here, this is the one we just read. And then right here, this is nice. Defeating villain champions grants 1 persistent charge and plus 10% attack while fighting villains. Not too bad, man. But there's also more down here as well. This is, you know, the cable synergy, which is obviously amazing for APOC to let APOC start with 4 charges, make somebody a horseman. But also down here, all mutants plus 25% special attack damage out of the gate, plus 18% poison resistance out of the gate. And then over here, with all mutants gain the mental barrier for 2.5% of current health, which is really nice when you're throwing a couple special attacks with the suicide masteries on. And also, Guidance's bonus attack rating is increased by a flat 5% or plus 15% on the final request. That's the, you know, his pre-fight. And then down here with Colossus, it's just some armor rating, right? So yeah, Colossus is there for the poison resistance. You can also sub Colossus for Archangel and make Archangel a horseman. And yeah, it's just the mutant class is absolutely insane. So good, man. And when you can team build them properly. White Mags also has a synergy with Cable, by the way, that makes him 60% resistant to poison, makes him even more suicide friendly. But as you can see, we're starting here, right, with a prowess, which is just so nice to have. And of course, Winter Soldier is just like, you know, the worst champion to fight against in the history of the entire game. But we'll just, you know, just gonna mess around here today just to show you that his damage numbers can be pretty darn decent, you know? So like I said, there's that damage rotation where you can go like special 3, special 1, special 2. So we could try it out. And you'll notice I didn't use the pre-fight. The reason why I didn't use the pre-fight is because I want to have as many charges as I can get. So I tried to do this with 10, but I think one fell off. I'm going to have 9 permanent prowesses for 40 seconds, which is really not bad at all, guys. So as you can see, this special 3 did 66,000 damage, which is seriously not bad at all. We now have a cruelty buff up, right? And like I said, we have 40 seconds to get close to a special 2, and then go for the armor break and then build up to the special 2. And that's what we're going to do here. And as you can see, we're at a solid 100% health because we're healing from the suicide masteries, which I just love with Professor X and Colossus, right? So now at this point, some of them are falling off. But 22k heavies is not bad. Look at that. That was 66k. That was not bad, man. So his damage is seriously not bad whatsoever. Please crit. It didn't crit, but it still did like 65k. Which is not bad at all. But if it crit, it would do like, I think around like 150k with all that prowess and the armor break and the cruelty. But yeah, as you can see, my biggest issue with him is that like he doesn't have an amazing crit rate, but 70 hits to get him down. It didn't take a long time. Special 3, special 1, special 2, right? A lot of champions have that kind of rotation. All right, man, so I originally just had like a bunch of Realm of Legends White Magneto fights in this video, but then I realized that's absolutely atrocious and nobody wants to see that and nobody cares about that. So here's some Mixmaster Korg action in Alliance War. Yes, this is off season, so the opponent is running the suicide masteries. However, I don't think that would have affected the outcome of the fight all that much. So this is a Korg. This fight, Mixmaster in War, is one of the harder nodes in all of War. And White Magneto is really good for it for a bunch of reasons. Whether you're fighting with White Magneto or not, the pre-fight that you can place on any hero or metal champion is absolutely enormous because it allows you to get that extended stun so you can go light, medium, and there, no matter what level of limber the opponent is running, it completely turns it off, as you can see, so you can do your 5-hit combos. I'm not even that focused on like going for damage here. Like I'm not doing any heavy attacks to get my prowesses. Here I'm doing a couple because I'm about to go for the special 3, right? So if Korg wasn't running Suicide Masteries, he'd probably be at only 70% right now. But we're at 95%, and if anything, the Suicides is making the block damage harder. So as you can see, this guy is pretty darn tanky in stuff like this, right? So You know, recoil is obviously a nice chunk of damage, but essentially at this point, what I would start doing is getting to the special one while I have the cruelty and some prowess up, and I'm gonna start chaining the special ones, right? So let's say he'd be at like 50% health right now. That special one killed him, but after that point, I'd have an armor break on him the entire time, right? So that was definitely not that terrible of a showing, right? What's so great about Magneto for Korg is that, you know, what happens with Korg usually is that you parry him and then he shrugs off the stun and then he gains a rock stack, right? How about that guy right there? So with Magneto, that's not going to happen. And that's what the one thing that's really great about him is he's great for all of those like tenacity guys, right? Like Kingpin, Mole Man, right? Agent Venom. Because you parry them and they can't shrug passive stuns, you know. Same thing for Korg, right? Any tenacity lane as well. In fact, I think we should go right now to a tenacity lane and show that off, right? Also, one more thing, I have to keep talking about Korg first. All of his attacks, medium and light and heavy, are energy based, so you're never, ever going to take Thorns damage from Korg. He pretty much turns Korg into a potato. And as you guys know, I absolutely love turning champions into potatoes, right? It's my favorite thing to do. Let's keep going. So let's jump right in. Okay, we're not going to do any build up. We're not going to do any horseman stuff. We're just here in 6.4.4 because I believe there is a tenacity lane here. He'd be good for this too, for example, mesmerize, right? Because of that long stun. All right, where was the tenacity lane? I believe it's actually up this way. So buff duration, blah, 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 tenacity. When afflicted with a debuff, this defender has a 75% chance to purify the effect, okay? So why don't we go and check that out? Let's go see. Let's go see. Okay, we're only going to do like 1 or 2 fights here on this lane, but I just want to show you how clutch, you know, that pre-fight is for White Magneto. And of course, you know, you can use this for other champions. However, what's so great about White Mag is that he essentially has unlimited amount of these because when you're attacking, you gain them back, right? So this tenacity node is essentially going to be completely shut down, which is great when it comes to parrying and whatnot, of course. So as you can see, just fight like normal, man. Because this whole lane, the lane identity here is just tenacity. That's really the main thing here, as we can see, right? And this is a nice 6.4 level health pool. And since there is, you know, tenacity, they could shrug off the bleed and everything. And as you can see, they shrug off that armor break. So what you can do here is kind of just build up prowess and just go and hope that one of the armor breaks stick. There we go. And just kind of like fight like normal. You could chain the special ones. If you have Professor X and Colossus on the team, you're going to be healing from that poison. Nice 45k special one. I mean, it's not bad, guys. She's about to, like, you know, heal and everything once we kill her. And she's close to her special 3, so let's bait this out. Come on. There we go. Alright, and that should do it. And she's going to heal. She healed up quite a bit. But I think we get the point, right? That for anything like this with tenacity, I wish it wasn't Phoenix, or it could have been a quick little fight. But I think you get the point, right? When it comes to tenacity stuff, he's really good for that kind of stuff. That's what he's great for, man. And there are other champions who can do that as well. You know, Storm X and Bishop have that in their kit. But White Mags is so great because not only can he use it himself, he can also give it to other champions too, which I think is really, really good. And it's really nice to have, you know. Plus, the bleed immunity is really nice. If you build him, you know, with Professor X and Colossus, you can heal from that poison a little bit. A lot of it if you build up Professor X as well. And his damage is not too bad at all, man. I feel like a lot of people think he's a noodle, but he's definitely not. If your special 1 crits, you get a nice 45k crit. Sometimes just going for the special 1 rotation is kind of the best thing to do sometimes, you know, depending on the matchup. Like I show you in, you know, in Realm of Legends, I'm probably going to leave at least 1 fight in there. He has good fine damage, man, when you build him up with, like, you know, the 9 prowesses and you got the armor break and then you go for the degen or the bleed. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, man, that's not really necessary. You're going to want to use this guy when there's tenacity and you want to get that passive stun and you want to keep some charges, right? So yeah, man, I'm definitely feeling really dope having this guy at rank 3. I think he's really cool, he's fun to play, and he's a really great addition to any mutant roster, I think at least. But yeah, man, I probably said some other stuff as well at the end of the Realm of Legends BS video that I made, so let's go back to that now. He's a champion I wanted to have at rank 3 for a while, And now we got him there. And if we're looking at rank 3 mutants, Namor, Omega, Sunspot, Magneto, Archangel, Cable, and Magneto. We have 7 of them now. I have 2 more catalysts, so I could take up Colossus and Wolverine Weapon X right now if I wanted to, because I think I also have 8 tier 5 basic. So I could literally take them both up. Will T4CC allow me? Let's see. Tier 2 Alpha will. Nope. I need more mutant T4. But point is, you know, I think I might take up either Weapon X or Colossus next. Definitely gonna wait for Cyber Weekend, see if I can pull that Apocalypse or Professor X. If I don't, I think I'm leaning Weapon X, man. I think it's time to rank 3 Weapon X next. Maybe after that, maybe then Colossus. If I don't pull Apocalypse or Professor X, then I think it's time. But as for now, I'm pretty darn happy with White Mags, man. I think he's cool. Definitely going to be using him for like 7.4 side quest stuff. He's on my Hercules team, my full team, so that's really cool. But anyway, my dudes, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big ol' like. Comment what you think about this rank up in the comment section below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any. Oh, I hope this wasn't super loud the whole time. Just realized silent mode wasn't on. Where's the phone? I hope not. We'll see. But that's it for this one. I'll be seeing you around.